Welcome to the Scene Snobs podcast.
Welcome to the Scene Snobs podcast live. It's a special Scene Snobs podcast. We're doing Oscar predictions tonight. We have a very awesome guest. You've seen him on the Scene Snobs before. And before we bring him on, I just wanted to reach out to you guys and say, after the last episode of the podcast, thank you guys so much. Really, truly appreciate you. You guys reached out to me. You guys are very kind, sweet. I love you, Snobs Nation. You guys are awesome. So, but let's get into it. We're going to talk the Oscars, one of the most prestigious nights in Hollywood history. And, not one of my favorites, but I do have thoughts. So we'll get there. But let me bring him on. Fred Carroll is here. That's right. There's the man, the Cinephiles Flashback podcast.
Fred Carroll.
That's 2 D's for savings.
2 D's. Everybody loves double D's. What's up, Mick Manhattan?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm excited. I got the red carpet on. Laverne Cox doing her interviews, and it's very exciting. I'm a big red carpet guy.
You are, huh? So what is it about the red carpet that, producer Paul is here too.
All
Late
right.
to the party.
Producer Paul's there.
Guns out, baby.
Look at that. We always got to bring somebody on to make me look uglier. I see what you're doing, Mick. I feel set up. It's a setup. What's up, producer Paul? How are you?
Not much. I'm doing good. How about you guys? Sorry, I'm a little late.
Good.
You're all good, man.
We were just talking about red carpets, and so I like the red carpet because similar to what I told you off the air, was my adrenaline level just builds up to this. I appreciate this film industry so much, even with all its flaws and stuff. It's just something that's part of me for all these years now. Since I was a kid, I fell in love with film as a young kid, and it's never stopped. And so the red carpet just shows me their humanity, the human side of them. And it's usually, I get a little tired of the talking heads, when the cackle of women get around and they're like, ooh, what's she wearing and all that stuff. But that's not what I'm watching it for.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I the red carpet stuff I don't do as much. I think the letdown for me is like just things I've seen or know about it, and kind of the inner workings of it. Because to me, growing up, it was like the pinnacle. Like you said, it's the Super Bowl for film fans, and wanting to be a filmmaker my whole life and doing it. It's just like, that was it. That's what you wanted. You wanted to hold one of those on that stage. So when the politics comes into play and all that stuff and everything, you kind of see what's going on. It just a disillusionment comes. And the more and more I see coming out and so much indie stuff that's coming out, that's just like, man, it's destroying and it's getting completely neglected. But still, the movies that are nominated are still very good. So I still support the idea of like those actors and those films and those producers and all the people who went into it getting their accolades. So that's sort of,
well, that's where we differ. You were in the business and you saw how it was made and stuff. I've never been there, so I still believe in Santa Claus.
Please keep believing in Santa Claus. I don't want to take that away from you. Never go to see how the pastrami gets made. Let's
yeah.
So Paul, my friend,
yes, sir.
What does it mean to you? You love movies, but you're a horror guy, so I can't imagine the Oscars means that much.
The Oscar, I mean, I just never really paid attention to them that much. I think sometimes it's a good indicator of what everybody else wants to see. So a lot of times I might go off some of the winners for that or the nominations to recommend to my general watching friends, because those are more the answers and direction they'd like to go movie wise. But for myself personally, I'll see usually almost all the movies that are on those lists, but I don't, half the time, a lot of the ones I would like to see up there are not up there anyway. So
yeah, it's politics. There's definitely a political game here, and it's money. Money matters in a lot of this, even though some small films have won before. That's just an anomaly compared to the big budgets and stuff like what we're competing with this year. When you talk about the Barbies and they're all important though. That's the one thing.
Right.
The big films are important. It's kind of like what the WNBA is to the NBA. The NBA supports the WNBA, but it's all important. It's all important. And the big films, that money coming in produces some of those smaller films that we enjoy.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's start. Let's get started. So I figured it is we'd go round robin each category. I'll just start calling them out. I'm going to start with technical, and then we'll work towards the more like best picture will be last, and we'll work up kind of like how they do. Sound good?
Yep.
Yes.
You do.
All right. I think everybody has their predictions, but did everybody pick out like if they would have something different? Like I picked out to me who I think should be winning.
Yeah, I kind of do. Sometimes I agree. Sometimes I agree with both. So,
all right. Well, when you call them out, if you do, make sure you say which one the prediction is.
Okay.
Not my favorite.
Not my favorite. The prediction.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, no, you can call out both, but make sure you just but this is my prediction that it's going to be this.
Okay.
All right. Let's do it.
Don't start
with sound.
Sound.
Let's start with best sound. All right, I'll go first. Best sound. I think my prediction is that best sound is probably going to be Mission Impossible 7. Very action-packed, a lot of stuff. And when I saw it, it did have great sound effects. So, but what I think deserves it, the creator. All right. Producer Paul, you want to go next? Then we'll go to Fred.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. See, I kind of went in the opposite direction.
Yeah,
I figured that I thought Maestro would be the one to get it, but I think the one that deserves it. I agree with you. I think creator.
Nice. All right. How about you, Fred?
So I would say, unfortunately or fortunately, Oppenheimer the winner. With, I guess if Maestro's got to win something, sound would be one of the things that it can win for. But I pick Oppenheimer.
Okay, nice. All right, let's go on to, so we have documentary feature film. I've got nothing chosen for this. I didn't see any of them that were nominated.
Okay, documentary feature film. Yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah, if I don't see them all, I'm not gonna.
Let's go off title. I like The Eternal Memory.
I'm with you. I'll say that too. Good luck.
Good luck to Eternal Memory.
Good luck to Eternal Memory. Actually, I'm gonna anyone we don't have, Fred, you make the prediction for us.
Okay, great.
The guest rule. All right. Documentary short film.
Ooh,
I don't have.
I got to go with 99 and WIPO.
There you go.
It's a great name.
It's the winner right there.
But or the ABCs of book banning. That's a good one.
Another one I didn't see. I'll just go with those now. Animated short film. I didn't see any of them.
Animated short. I got to find it. Animated short film. Oh, I did see one of these. So I did see 95 Senses. So
right.
let's go with that.
That's the winner. Okay, now let's get back to more of the ones we know. All right. Best visual effects.
Yes.
I think we know which one I'm going with. The one that was robbed of
Can I guess?
just a few other and by the way, everybody, if you're interested in anything I wear on the shows, head over to snobsmerch.com. But Godzilla -1. That is my choice for best visual effects. Producer Paul.
So I finally got to see Godzilla -1. Even though I didn't really like the movie for the movie, I say the creator had the best visual effects.
All right. I'm not mad at that though. I'm not mad at that at all. That's a good choice. Well, was that my prediction? No, Napoleon is my prediction. No, sorry, I didn't give out my prediction. So I just got super excited to talk about Godzilla -1 because it deserves it.
That's fair.
Yeah, for the crap show that Napoleon was, the visual effects on it were pretty fantastic. It was something. It's the one thing I enjoyed about the film. How's that? The visual effects.
I believe it.
Did you like it? Did you like the film? On a sidebar here,
I did not. I was not a big fan of Napoleon. The
I did
reason I
not.
said that is because for some reason I know they're gonna try and at least pay whatever tribute they could to Joaquin, who's a past winner, or Ridley Scott. So that's all of these, like the predictions, come off of my just understanding of like how this.
Yeah, I also think it might have been story. It might have been the script at this point, because the acting and everything else about it was there. The filming's phenomenal. He did a phenomenal job with the camera work and stuff, but it just didn't do anything for me, man.
I don't know. All right. So what did you say, Paul, was you said the creator. Do you think that's what your prediction too?
I almost think they'll give it to my prediction for who's going to win. I think they'll give it to Mission Impossible just because they like Tom Cruise, and a lot of those scenes, they really harped hard on a lot of those.
Yeah, and Matt, thanks for watching, man. Can they release? Yeah, it should be coming soon. It's going to release on Blu-ray in May 1st, so
God,
it should be coming
bless,
soon.
it's a while away.
Because it was a
Blu-ray.
foreign film, so they have to put it out in their country first and stuff. So I get it. It's I want to see Godzilla -1, but I have no clue when I'll be able to. Hopefully soon. It has to be coming to streaming soon. I can't imagine it won't, but it's probably going to be in a bidding war. All right. All right, I get that. Mission Impossible. I said the same thing for sound, but Fred, what do you got
For the visual effects?
Yeah.
Is that where we still are? I think Napoleon. Yeah, Napoleon.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to scripts. Let's start with adapted. I would like American Fiction to win. I think it should. But I think Barbie will probably win because to get Greta Gerwig an Oscar, which she deserves, but she deserves it in another category. Well, actually, maybe both, but
Well, I go if it's my turn.
You can if you want.
Yeah, I go with Celine's song from Past Lives. I think it's just a beautiful film, and she's got to get something here.
Yeah,
she's got to be recognized.
She's should be recognized for Best Picture or whatever. Paul? What about you, bud?
So I think I agree with you. I really enjoyed American Fiction as far as the script. So I think that one should win. I think though, with all the reviews, I think they'll give it to Poor Things.
Okay.
Because I've just seen too many great reviews of Poor Things. It seemed like that was a big love by a lot of people.
Nick, I'm on the wrong one.
Yeah, you're on the wrong one. You were an original because I have Past Lives chosen as my prediction. And Past Lives is my original screenplay and is my choice to win and my prediction to win. I got all thrown off because I'm like, wait, I didn't realize.
So what are we doing? Adapted or original?
Well, we just did it. We both did our adapted. You did your original. So now you do your adapted, and then we'll do our originals. I just said.
My adapted goes to Poor Things because I did read the book prior to seeing the film, and I think he did. I mean, he brought everything to life that I was seeing in my head, and I think that's what I find important from adapted screenplays.
Nice. All right. What's your original? I already said mine. You might as well.
Yep. I think my original is going to be The Holdovers.
Oh, okay.
I absolutely love that. I think that was very well done. It was an interesting movie. I want that to win. I don't think it will. If I had to guess with the current list, I'd probably say Past Lives. And I'm not saying Past Lives was bad. I personally love The Holdovers and would love to see them win. Nice.
All right. I dig it. All right. Let's move on to, let's just get them over with. Original song. I have I'm Just Ken as both in my prediction and my choice. Because I don't care.
I gotta find it.
Sorry.
Well, I also have from the Barbie movie, but I don't see how anything competes with this. What was I made for, with its size and loveness, spread throughout Instagram, all over social media, and everybody loves Billie Eilish. She's becoming a very talented movie writer. Between this and the James Bond song that she wrote a few years, did she win for that?
I don't know.
I
don't know much about Billie Eilish. I'm going to be honest with you.
Me neither. But I think that's part of the mystery. I think that's part of the attraction to her, is nobody knows much.
I mean, if the attraction to her is that I know nothing about her and I don't seek her out or listen to her music, I agree with you. not that I don't like her. I'm not putting her down or saying nobody should listen to her. I just haven't. I mean, I'm open to it, but
you also have boys.
Well, I don't think that matters. They Taylor Swift's in my house 9.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
so everybody listens to. We listen to all different types of stuff. So I'm sure Billie Eilish plays. But if I'm sitting here chilling, I was just listening to yes before because of this idiot.
yes.
So no, but I'd fine with her winning too, but I mean, I'm Just Ken was pretty good.
I think I'm Just Ken will win. But the one I would love to win is A Song for My People from Killers of Flower Moon. I love the music from there.
Nice. Okay. I dig that.
I didn't really care for the movie, but the music, solid.
I love it. All right. Production design. What we got?
So I've got that's where I put my Barbie. That's where I think Barbie shines, is in production design. It's the one thing that held me, whether that's visual. But I don't believe it was effects that they were using. I believe they used real, if I read it correctly, they built that original set with those colors and stuff. That's not added like in a visual effect.
No, they built the sets, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was that's the one attraction I had to that film directly, immediately it caught me.
I like your point on that, because that's same for me. Well, not the one attraction, because also costume design did that for me in this too.
Yeah, and
I like the costume design in Poor Things and a few other things, but this was just, it was like you brought Barbie clothes to life, and it made sense.
You brought a toy to life.
Yeah,
it's a human form. It's quite impressive. But all of them, like you just said, if we're going to put it down to the 10 films, all of them did a great job. There's a reason they're nominated, these films. The film, they're all worthy, because they did something that I've always dreamt of. But that's one of the points I try to make on my show, is they are worthy for some reason. I don't have to like it. You don't have to like it, but there's plenty of films that nobody's seen that are nominated sometimes.
Oh, and I get, my biggest thing isn't that I don't think any of these films are worthy of being nominated. I believe any movie could be worthy of being nominated any year. I'm open to that. My problem is there are superior movies that do come out that are indie, that are outside the purview of what the Academy wants to have represent itself and Hollywood.
Yeah, and that's where the politics comes in.
Yeah. So that's where I get mad, because it's like, I'm not an asshole for saying Godzilla -1 should be up for Best Picture, and at the very least should be up for International Feature Film. But it's been ousted because it's considered a horror film.
Yeah.
And if it's horror, and the same with The Creator, it's sci-fi. But you can't force them out of the technical because they are Marvel. Like, The Creator was made on $80 million, and it looks better than 90% of what we're seeing come out of Marvel and other stuff.
What's the closest, Mick, that you're aware of? What's the closest a horror movie has come, even if it's one of the big ones, Halloween's or anything? Has anything ever? The Exorcist is the closest.
Well, no, because Silence of the Lambs one. So like some big, well-known horror movies have done it, but I'd say the scariest horror movie to get nominated is probably The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Which is like, you don't even take those stories into account. So like that's where it just, and it doesn't, I'm not just a horror cuck. Like you downplay sci-fi, you know, unless it's Sandra Bullock and George Clooney in space. Like, but, you know, there's like it just bought Dune.
Right.
Dune 1 and Dune 2. I'm just gonna say it together are better than the Lord of the Rings films together.
I haven't seen 2 yet.
It's a better told story, and it's a more of a marvel in the world of filmmaking, cinematically speaking. Granted, there's 25, but what else are you going to compare it to? That's how marvelous the Lord of the Rings trilogy is. So anybody who's getting mad about me saying this, it's like I'm putting them up on such a high pedestal that Dune, it took how many years for Dune to surpass it? I don't even put Avatar on that list.
Yeah, I agree.
They do, because that's their fluff. That's what they like. So the movies on here absolutely deserve it. But if it's going to be real, put all the movies that deserve it up there.
Mm-hmm.
Don't, you know.
It's politics. It's all politics.
It really is. So, all right. What? Now my bitching is done. So, Paul, did you do costuming and
for production?
Production.
Sorry, for production, I thought that Poor Things should be the one to win, but I think Barbie's going to be the one that wins.
Okay, makes sense.
It's a good one.
And what was the other one we just did? Costume design.
Costume design. Where are you? Costumes design.
All right. I think I said mine. It was Barbie and Barbie on that. You're up.
I'll go with Barbie and Barbie too. I think that's.
Yeah, I think we could agree on this. It's just for the same reasons we just were talking about, that to make it so realistic. Well,
just makeup and hairstyling, just to go there next, because then we're getting into the big ones. Start getting into big ones. It's I have Poor Things as what I think should win. And my prediction is going to be Barbie, even though I think Poor Things should absolutely be the one that wins.
Yeah, I kind of go with listen, I loved Poor Things and the way they did that. There's a few on here. Maestro deserves there was a lot that went into the Bradley Cooper character there. Obviously, they've talked about the nose and stuff, and because they had talked about it prior, I focused on it and I didn't notice it 10 minutes in. So to me, that's a good job. Yeah. They did a good job with it. But also the Society of the Snow. I don't know if you saw that. I haven't seen it. That's the team that they remade that film where those guys that crash in the mountains and they have to.
Alive. Yeah, I've heard about that. I heard that it was a remake, but
they did such a good job. It's a great film. It's worth watching. You'll enjoy it. But the makeup they did on that, because you're showing people losing weight, you got to show it in the face on a mountain in an all white background. Everything's white at every time, so you have to be able to show the sun, the burning, all the things that would happen to you after 100 days alone on a mountain without food. So they did a really good job.
That's awesome. All right. Best international feature film. Godzilla -1, but it's not nominated. So it's going to be The Zone of Interest, which is good. It was a good movie.
Yeah, A24. I mean, they know what they're doing. I agree with The Zone of Interest because I think it being worthy of a nomination against some heavy hitters in the best picture category, it is best suited for an international feature film, as is Anatomy of a Fall. And why it's not on there, I don't know.
Paul, what you got?
See, I put down Godzilla -1, even though it was nominated, and I actually put Society of
Snow. So we're partners, Paul.
Sorry, but I think that's the one that will win is Society of Snow.
Okay,
because that one I try to think of, like, if if I ever had a kid in the future and they were like, "What's a good movie to watch from that year?" That's the one I think I would recommend is Society of Snow.
Yep.
Speak
Like
for
it.
the whole year.
Very awesome. All right, man. All right, animated feature film. I think should win Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. My prediction to win is the Boy and the Heron, which I do not think is one of their stronger movies, personally.
I'm gonna go with Spider-Man.
All right, nice.
Yeah, and like you said, that Boy and the Heron, that's that Apple one, isn't it? Is that the Apple film?
I think it's on Apple.
I watched
Did they produce it?
And like you said, it wasn't what I consider, but it got so much fanfare and stuff. I'm assuming, I think it's an adapted one from a book, but I think like you are, the Spider-Man should win, but that one might get that Apple pass.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
Money talks, man.
Bullshit walks.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into best cinematographer. For me, all right.
Sorry.
So I think that cinematography wise, the best movie of the year that should be nominated and wasn't was Barbie, which was Rodrigo Prieto. But he is also the cinematographer. And now I got a little bit of this is a little bit of conspiracy theoryism on my end. He is also the cinematographer for Killers of the Flower Moon, and he's nominated for that. So here's where I think the politics came into this one. I think he's favorited. And now if you have two movies that you're not in the same category, you are destined to lose. Oh,
yeah, you're voting against you. You're splitting the vote.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, his people thought about this and was like, I think we should push Killers for the Flower Moon. And here's my conspiracy theory sort of thing. It's because Barbie is perfect for Barbie. The cinematography, the backdrop, everything, all of it works for that movie. But movies that generally look like that don't have stories like that and aren't as prestigious as Barbie made it. So if this dude's going to win, it's got to be for Killers of the Flower Moon, because that's where he's going to be famous for. You want him to go and do movies like that for like.
But regardless of which film, both of them had incredible cinematography. The angles he took, some of the angles that are taken, like behind the scenes stuff of Killer the Flower Moon, is almost better than the movie Killers of the Flower Moon.
I think it deserves because I think it's the best cinematography on the list, but my prediction is Oppenheimer.
Oh.
And I say Poor Things. I say Poor Things because it's just to me, it just engaged me. The cinematography, the angles he took, and whether that's the directing he's taking. I don't know what kind of person this Robbie Ryan is, whether he's got full control, or, you got the director in your ear telling you, I don't know him. So I think Poor Things wins and Killer of the Flower Moon should win.
Okay. I like it. All right.
I put the creator is what I would like to have win for cinematography. Just seeing what they did with the camera they used and the shots, those scenes were phenomenal. I'm amazed.
What did they use, Paul, for a camera?
It was the Magic. Oh God, what was it? It's one that we could just be easily accessible. Like
right,
only like a $6,000 camera.
We talk like it's
$6,000. It's attainable, I guess.
I know. I see camera lenses now, and I just buy them.
But yeah, I just thought it was amazing that they shot a featured film with kind of a lower budget camera.
They shot it on the Sony FX3,
which is it's the reason they go to the FX3 is it's Netflix approved. That's the only, like my one that you could see in the, somewhere in the back. Oh, there it is in the back. That's the A7 IV, the Sony A7 IV setup.
Mhm.
It's not Netflix approved. And that's a big deal though if you're shooting.
No, I know.
You know, you want to sell this thing, you need the most opportunities possible. On a separate note,
and if that's what Netflix has, then most streaming sites have that.
Right. And on a separate note, Red camera was just sold to Canon. Canon just bought Red. So that's a big deal. It is a big deal in camera industry.
Oh, I know. All right.
But I think Killers will win though.
Okay. I dig it. All right, let's go on to Best Director. I have Greta Gerwig should win, but Justine Triet is going to win, and not that she doesn't deserve it, but this is another thing that bothers me about the awards. Like, if they give it to her, it's always got that like, well, we've gotten a lot of backlash for not having Greta be nominated.
Right.
So
or she's the only woman in the category.
They
gave
push the narrative, you know.
They got to stop doing this. It's almost to the point where, because we know, does it matter if you're female or male and make a movie? What's the difference? It's not a strength competition. You know, it's possible by everybody.
Let's save that one because I'm going to ask a question afterwards, but I want to run right through these because I do know that it starts soon. And everybody wants to kind of get ready for it.
Got 28 minutes.
All right. Paul, how about you, man? What do you got for Best Director?
I want to see Christopher Nolan win, but I think Scorsese is going to be the one to win.
Oh, okay. Yeah, which they do a lot too, where they like, oh, he didn't get it for this, but he's older now. Sometimes it plays in, but I'm not sure. How about you, Fred? What you got?
And I'm going Oppenheimer, and I believe Oppenheimer deserves it. So Christopher Nolan.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Well, let's get into the acting. All right. Let's do actor in a supporting. So I think should win, which might surprise people, is Robert De Niro. I think he turned in the best performance, in my opinion. And an actor in supporting that I think is going to win is Robert Downey Jr.
And I agree except I think Sterling K. Brown's character was fun in American Fiction. And, but I do believe Robert Downey Jr. wins it, and that's part of the politics.
Yeah. What you got, Paul?
I agree with you, Mick. I think De Niro should be the one to get it, but I think Downey will be the one to end up with it.
Wouldn't be surprised though with De Niro because he is somebody major.
Right.
All right. Best supporting actress. I have I have a tie for who I think should win. But that's because it's the who I think. Either one of those would be fine by me. And that is either America Ferrera or Davine Joy Randolph. They were both awesome, fantastic work. But who I think my prediction is going to be Emily Blunt.
And this is one of those where all five obviously deserved this nomination, and all five were great in their roles. Yeah. So it's one of the few that all five I'd be satisfied with any of them. But Davine Joy Randolph in The Holdovers is my favorite. And I just don't think Emily Blunt's role was big enough for such a big film.
Yeah, I agree. Braxton, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you coming by.
Little bro. I think I put down I want Randolph to be the one to win, but I think they're going to give it to Brooks. Sorry, Danielle Brooks. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was great.
Yeah. All right. So let's switch it up. So we'll do Best Actress. Actress in leading. I have should win Emma Stone, and my prediction is Emma Stone. So, and
I think Lily Gladstone was phenomenal, just phenomenal in the role. I think it plays into the politics well, but I would not be shocked and think deservingly Carrie Mulligan did such a phenomenal job as the wife on Maestro in a film I did not enjoy.
I put down Emma Stone as the one I would like to win, and Carey Mulligan as the one I think will win.
All right, nice. Great minds, right?
Yeah, yes.
We're gonna be wrong in everything.
Can't be wrong though. We can't be wrong because we're doing it out of love.
That's
That
true.
is true.
All right, best actor in a leading role. I have should win Coleman Domingo for Rustin, which should have also been nominated for Best Picture, in my opinion. And who will actually win is Cillian Murphy.
Well,
I put Cillian Murphy twice. Sorry.
Yeah, and I got Cillian winning it, and would love Paul Giamatti to win it, but I just don't. I think he's ready and can win it. I wouldn't be surprised, but I just can't get over to Cillian. He did a great job in Oppenheimer. It's just the perfect role.
Yeah. All right. We're up to the big one. And that is Best Picture. So Best Picture, in my opinion, is Past Lives. That's what should have won. It's a phenomenal movie. It should have been nominated for more. But my prediction for tonight is actually going to be Barbie, because I think that's how they're going to split it. Greta gets the script for writing. So she gets her award, which she deserved for Best Director. And Margot Robbie's going to get hers for Barbie, which is, but as a producer, which she probably did. I don't know if she deserved it as Best Actress of the Year, but she deserved nomination. Sorry, I just had to go on my rant.
That's okay. Go ahead, Paul. What do you got?
So I want Past Lives wins, but I think it's going to be Barbie as well. Is going to be the one to win.
And listen, we're 3 for 3 on this because Past Lives is my number 1 of the 10. It clearly it reached me. It reached me. I understood it, and I felt it. But I think nothing's stopping this Oppenheimer role. It's just a train at this point, and they all deserve it. They all deserve it except for Bradley Cooper. I just don't like Maestro. I just don't.
That one slipped by, in my opinion. But
I just don't like it. I did not. It's beautiful. The black and white's beautiful, and I appreciate him. I appreciate his strength and his goals, but it just wasn't for me.
Yeah, I get it, man. I definitely get it.
So many poor things, holdovers. It's just it's jam packed.
James MCD Review says, if my show wins anything, I will be livid. Go check them out over there. Give them a subscribe.
The one that comes into the politics too. Right. There, the Bradley Cooper's a powerful man and a good man for Hollywood. I just don't think this is the year.
He needs to pick his roles better. I'm sorry. There's some. All right. I'm going to go be very arrogant here, and I apologize for my arrogance, but it's true. I was an effective enough producer where then the reason I'm good at it is because I see talent in people where their talents lie. And it's like, you should try this. And then when they do, it's like, oh my God, they're auteurs. But then when they're like doing something kind of adjacent to it, it's like, all right, but like you need help. Right. So let's put you with somebody who can help you. There are so many wonderful auteurs out there who need help, so to speak. Ari Aster needs a better co-writer. Same with Rob Zombie. If he had a better co-writer, I bet you his movies would be, because his look is amazing. It's the same with Christopher Nolan. When he writes something by himself, it's not as strong as a movie. When he has good writers with him, mixed with him, it's generally phenomenal because he is the perfect at everything else. And there's so many of them here that are the same. It's like of these filmmakers that it's just like, if you just had one thing, like that one thing, like you need help with, like you're perfect at everything, but not this. So you might need just a little bit of help, you know?
Yeah.
The only
It's
one I cannot think of that excels on every level right now is Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, it's definitely story driven. Story driven is important to me. And the way they're choosing these, all these have a story. Obviously, the Barbie's a story because we are well familiar with it, but you know, some of it got lost. For instance, The Holdovers. The Holdovers is an amazing film. And on a side note, our pizzeria, you know, the #1 pizza place in the world, Pepe's Pizza in New Haven, has just started the Giamatti pie because he's given so much props to Pepe's Pizza on all the circuit. So they created a pie for him. But
Awesome.
the Holdovers is a story that's been told before. And that's where it's falling flat on everything else is perfect with it. The acting, they did everything perfect. It's the story's been told before.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
you're right. A lot of these, you know, Zone of Interest was a little too aggressive, I guess, the subject matter.
And to me, again, at the same time, if it's the best film, if it's the best picture, it should be the 10 best films. That's what it should be. It should be the 5 or however many best directors there is. If it's 5, fine. If it's, you know, I don't care. Like, should we separate best director into best men directors, best female directors, like how they do it with actors and actresses? I don't know. I'm not saying I don't think they should, because movies are movies, and honestly, I think kind of put them all together, and and that's when, if the money talks, if you win the award, be the best at your craft. You're going to get more people practicing, working harder, wanting those better roles, thirsting for the roles like these. That's why I do respect the movies that get nominated, because there's still that monicum of, it's not just Marvel, DC, which great. I'm glad they're there. And I'm not saying that those certain ones shouldn't be nominated too. You know, like Guardians of the Galaxy was 3 was nominated. This, you know, Black Panther should have been a best picture. You know, Logan should have been a best picture. So it's, you know, my whole point is, like, it should just be whatever the best of the best in each of those categories is. And then you're going to get harder working people. You can get harder working artists, and a hardworking artist is fucking phenomenal. It is a phenomenal thing. That's a thirsty artist. They want, and like, that's why we see so much beauty at the bottom in the indie, because they're thirsting for it. They're hungry for it. They want it. And, you know, we see it in Rocky. It's, you know, he's hungry for it, right? In Rocky 3. So this is all they're fucking doing. So, like, make these big artists who are clearly selling the fuck out say, no, I'm not going to do your shitty superhero movie. You know, I don't want to do The Flash where it's a fucking mess. And the director, Andy Muschietti, who's fucking fantastic. Like, that's beneath him. And it's beneath him because they didn't give him everything he needed to get it done. So, like, I'm sorry if I'm pontificating, but seriously, that's why I get so annoyed. It's like, we need these filmmakers to have that thirst again, to want to do better. So then that way they're demanding excellence in film. And that's what we're going to get.
I love when you use big words like pontificating. That's what gets me excited. Hey, I gotta, you guys, both of you. So I have an unpopular opinion of why poor things will suffer from the Academy's point of view. And it didn't bother me as much, but I could see where it would bother a lot of people. Is it a little too gratuitous in the sex scenes? Are there too many of them? Is it too much? Couldn't it have been heard rather than shown? I know movies are a visual thing, but it was pretty graphic.
I'll give you my honest opinion. If you, Paul, if you don't mind, I'll take this one.
Yeah, go
and
ahead.
then you can, please, if you can give your opinion after.
And add to it.
Sure. Yes, sir.
Let's put it this way. If you take Poor Things and you take Emma Stone out and put Sydney Sweeney in, it never gets nominated.
No.
Not because she didn't give a good performance, not because it wasn't a great movie, because they're going to look down on the Sydney Sweeneys, which you heard how much they did and demeaned her. I mean, she's a fine actor. She's winning awards. Like, what are we demeaning her for? Because she's blonde and she has cleavage.
And busty, yes.
So that's the sad truth. Emma Stone, who has more prestige to her name, is in a movie like that, and that's why it gets nominated.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean that. You take her out, you put somebody like that, somebody else in. Mark Ruffalo's not getting that nominated.
No.
You know,
But my point is, I don't see some of the people who are voting on this lasting through the film due to its gratuitous nature, like just turning it off, saying, "Yeah, this is not for me." Similar to Zone of Interest.
and but I mean, like, but I'll respect anybody who that's their boundary, right? Like, so if that's your boundary and you want to walk away from a film, fine. Should it not be nominated for that reason? No.
No, it should be nominated. It's definitely in the top 10. I'm just saying I can't see it winning because it won't get the votes because it's losing some votes due to people's preferences. Where other films such as, because even Killers of the Flower Moon, we're all going to say it's too long. I didn't feel it was too long because it didn't feel like 3 hours. And it started, I watched it. It just didn't have the arc that I didn't feel the arc. That's it.
There's too much sympathy for it, and honestly, I think it suffers a lot. You had too much sympathy in your antagonist, and it's like, and like as I'm watching, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, this is poorly written. Like the perfect idea of sympathy for an antagonist in a movie is Darth Vader. There's something that hurt this man. There's hurt behind those eyes. Like they wrote it properly. They portrayed it properly. You get to there's also too much sympathy for an antagonist. Like, this is a monster. Stop trying to make me feel bad for them.
Well, while we got a few minutes, what do you think of Anatomy of a Fall then? Where do you think that gets lost?
Out of not being nominated at all?
Well, not winning, not being able to win.
It's just not. I hate to say it, it's too indie.
Is it
not
too
for me? Not for me, but for the Academy, it's too indie.
What about the
darlings to back on?
Does the subtitle hurt it?
It was anything with the Academy. The American
70% French. If you watch it, you could watch it, and they do offer it in English dub, and it's horrible.
Listen, I've been watching Godzilla for the past 10 weeks. So, I mean, dubs are fine by me. I don't care. Or subtitles, whichever they give me. But,
so where does an American Fiction fail to win? Have a chance to win?
It's just the money, honestly.
Yeah.
All of it really. When I say too indie, it's money. They can't relate. They can't. It's think about who's in the Academy. Look at me. I'm a star, which is fine. And that's great. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that's what they do. And they deserve their stardom for what they put in. There's a whole other things about their deserving and earning that we could talk about. But stardom, that's what stars are supposed to be, right? That's what they are. So it doesn't bother me. But when you're voting, you take for your consideration ads very seriously. And the more money behind it and where it's plastered everywhere, well, that should probably win. Or my friends in that, or this and that and the other thing. It's money.
Yeah.
It all comes down straight to money. So
yeah, I think American Fiction had a chance. Do you think it's mislabeled when they not purposely, but they made it? To me, it's not a black film. To me, it's just a good film that just happens to have black actors in it. It's not.
I got to disagree. Like, just to my, I think there's this this feel of distastefulness when people say, it's not a black film or so. It's perfectly fine for a film to be black. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, showing black lives and how they're lived, and no matter what, it's like, when we differentiate it, and I'm strictly talking in a film sense. Like, I don't want to get.
That's how I'm talking too. Not racially.
No, but it is a racial. There's a racial connotation to it because, and not what you're saying, but in overall, okay, well, this is a black film. It's like, well, yeah, because you label it as a black film. It's It's just a film with actors
Right.
in it. Every movie is.
Well, that's my point. Is
But
I'm
it isn't-
wondering.
But there, for some reason, when you call it a black film, it's almost like you're labeling it also as a. So there's something to it here. Like, what kind of black film are we getting? Things like that's where the racial things come. Like when I watch it, it's black stories, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I enjoy black stories.
I thought it was phenomenal. It's just a great film.
Yeah, and then it's just and I love listening to the interviews. The filmmakers behind it, they put a lot of love and care into it, and there's a lot of, and we recently just talked about it and reviewed it, so you can go back and talk, and we get more into the nitty gritty of it. But I think it's a fantastic film. But why is it not in my predictions? Because
Competition.
I know how they work, and it's, if it wins, it's a fucking miracle. It really is. Like, it just, that's the years where you get something that truly won because it's great. Like if Past Lives won or American Fiction won. Those were the great movies.
Well, when's the last time you were satisfied with a win? Were you satisfied last year with was it Brendan Fraser last year, The Whale?
I mean, yeah, I like them.
What about Everything All at Once? See, I
liked Everything. Yeah, that one was a good one. I think that should have won Best Picture for.
Well,
I was very satisfied with Brendan Fraser last year. I'll be the first to.
Yeah, I like him. He did a good performance. Like, he's so
Love The Whale.
Oh, Mick, before we ended and stuff, I wanted to ask, do you think John Williams is given the award just for the fact that this is it? This is the last one. Is Indiana Jones going to get it for score?
That wasn't my prediction, and it wasn't my pick.
Does it matter that it's John Williams?
It shouldn't. If I'm being honest, it shouldn't. Like, I mean, listen, it's the Indiana Jones theme. Yes, there's a different theme to it, and I thought it was beautiful, but I don't think it was the best one of the year.
No, I agree, but I'm wondering if just because he's a 90-something-year-old man now, and this is his last film, is this the last hurrah to say thank you?
Well, I'll answer that, and I'm going to end it here on that. But and where I start my thank yous, and I want to say thank you to Fred before we start.
Thank you
Fred, for joining in. Everybody, go check out Fred. We're going to link his stuff down below in the descriptions. The Cinephiles Flashback podcast, and also what other podcasts do you have? Tell us what you got going on.
Well, I have a Dude in the Hen House, which is a more fun, but it's a man versus a woman on a podcast talking about women issues. And I'm back with Scott Scott H. Silverman, talking about mental health and addiction recovery on Your Crisis Coach. That's brand new.
Very nice. Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Fred. And to answer that, though, if you give John Williams an Oscar when he doesn't have the best score of the year, just because he's in his 90s and it's his last one, it sullies all of his other Oscars, in my opinion, because he didn't earn it. But and that's okay, because he inspired all the musicians in film today, and that's a good thing. All of those ones that he won were well deserved, well honored, and the best of those times that are iconic.
Agree, but I think he should be recognized tonight.
I think he needs to. If he doesn't have one, he should have 7 Lifetime Achievement Awards, because that guy has done so much for film.
Yes.
I got nothing against that, but if he doesn't win it tonight, which if they vote on him, whatever, but if he doesn't win it tonight, they should give him a Lifetime Achievement Award next year, because he deserves it.
Excellent. Nice to meet you, Paul.
It's great to meet you too, sir.
I want to say thank you, guys. I'm going to let you guys get going, because is starting very, very soon. Enjoy the Oscars tonight, everybody. Hope you enjoyed our prediction show. And until next time, well, actually Tuesday night, me and Paul will be back with an all new episode. Big Mick energy. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. So thank you again. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, so that way you know when more episodes of this and other things come out as well. And until next time, just take care. Oh, all new Discovering Horror tomorrow. That's right. The Lost Boys. Talk to you later.
Goodbye.